Hey everybody, welcome back to Trader Bug Home Services. Today I'm putting a gate in the middle of a fence. So this homeowner has, I think it's like a nature preserve behind their house, and they requested a gate so that they can go wander through the woods when they want to. I don't know if that's legal, but that's not my concern because I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm just putting a gate in. Whatever they do with that gate is on them. I'll try to explain this the best I can. Since I'm putting it in the middle of a fence, it's a little bit different than when you're building a new fence or when you're building a new gate that the posts don't already exist and all that kind of fun. So we'll get to it, and I'll do what I can for explaining how I'm doing everything. Alright, so I bought a prefab gate just to make life easy. The measurements matched up. I needed a 6-foot tall gate. And it just has to be a man gate. A man gate is just a gate for somebody to walk through, not to be able to drive anything through. I believe it's 43 inches wide. Perfect width for anybody to walk through comfortably. Nobody, even if they're short and very wide, is not going to get stuck going through this thing. I'm matching it up to one panel that's got a lot of rot and moss on it to get rid of most of that panel. I'll have to cut that panel away. I'll have to sink another 4x4 into the ground with some concrete. But I'm putting the hinges on another post as well. I paused because I think I just reworked how I'm going to do this. I think I might do it a little bit differently. But anyways, I'll show you guys what I'm working with. So I have this post here. This is the new gate. Obviously, you can tell by the color. I got it from Home Depot. It was actually pretty reasonably priced. And the pickets matched, which is the main thing I was thinking about when I picked it up. I have a spacer under it currently. It's a 2x6 that I had sitting around. I'll probably dig that in a little bit so that the gapping won't be so large at the bottom, but I do want it to be able to be used. I'm gonna mount this thing so that it is an in-swing, which means it swings towards me. And I'm mounting it this direction so that it matches up to the fence with the railings and everything showing on this side, which is owner's side as far as how railing works. On this side over here, I'll be sinking another 4x4, which is right there, into the ground and pouring concrete for that so that it's sturdy. I have hardware for everything sitting here with me. I got the Rust Guard hardware, which is powder coated. So that it will last longer than normal hardware does outside in Florida. Everybody knows how that works if you've had a wooden gate before. Probably the wood will go before the hardware. At least that's my hope, because it's usually the other way around. Wood, you can always piece together different parts to fix it. Hardware, you have to just buy new hardware. The 4x4 that I have is pressure treated, as should be, ground contact rated, which is what you want because I'm obviously going to be in contact with the ground. And then as far as which side the hinges are going to go on, I'd prefer this side over here, just because that looks better to me, but I might actually do that side depending on where I want to put the hinges. I'm going to think about it a little bit more while I dig everything in. I'll have to check the level on this post, which I can actually do now for you guys. So it's close. Lean that way. A little bit more would be better, but it's already connected to a fence, so it's hard to lean it. As far as this direction goes, it's pretty far off. So anyways, when I put my post in, of course I'll have to check the level on it, make sure it's leveled. I'm going to have to cut the fence currently. I'll mark lines for where my gate's going to go and where I want my 4x4 to be, so that when I cut it, I can still attach this fence panel to my 4x4 so that it looks like one continuous piece right here, and then my fence or my gate just meets up to it. So I'll let you guys watch it as I do it. While I'm digging right now, I'm not going to show you guys anything because who cares to watch me on my knees digging. Alright guys, so what I dug in so far wasn't much. Was my 2x6. I didn't want this gate to be too tall off the ground. I wanted it to be almost level with this fence, except that I don't want it to be exactly level with the fence because, well, the fence is on the ground. If you have a gate on the ground, it's not going to open. So anyways, I dug in a little bit. You can see a little bit of dirt that I brought up from there, and then I put a level on it. You see the level, and maybe see that bubble? That's level. Weird, huh? The reason I did that is because I'm going to set the gate on top of this to know exactly where it's going to match up to the gate post, fence post, and to be able to draw my lines on the fence panel here so that I can cut this fence panel out of the way and mount my gate. But I'm going to now set the gate back on. I'm going to draw my lines. I'm going to take out my circular saw and cut this panel out of the way so that then we can move on with the rest of this. And I'll go ahead and leave the camera running so you guys can watch that. I'm doing my best to match the side posts of the gate, post on that side. Not because that means it's level, probably doesn't, but because I want it flush with that gate. With it being on this board, it's at least set where I want it to be. So if it's a little higher on one side because this fence post is crooked, that's fine. We can always fill that in with ground later on. So the next step, of course, I have it leveled up. I'm going to put pressure on the bottom and move it to this fence panel. The reason I move it to this fence panel, you can see some of it's still on the ground over there, and that's keeping this part that's no longer on the board from hitting the ground. And then I want to take my pencil out and mark the lines. Those are what I cut to remove a large part of this fence panel so I can mount the gate in this place. For me, almost lines up. We're going to go ahead and line up that one panel there. It won't matter that it's not perfectly lined up because it's going to hit gate post. And now we can move this out of the way. I can cut in, cut out my lines. You guys probably can't see them because I pencil, but they line pretty close up with this space right here. So I'm basically going to put my blade in the middle of that space. So this side's free, unless it's got a piece of wood holding it up right there. That's okay. I'm going to cut this side now off the post, and that way I'll be able to start putting this gate in. I know I'm not cutting it correctly yet. That's because I don't have any room to cut at the moment. I'm just cutting where I have room for, and then I'll come back and clean it up. There we go. That make sense? Look, the fence fell. Perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. There's that wood that was holding me up before. I'll pull this fence out of the way. Obviously rotted and gross. Alright, now I can come back with my saw and an idea of where the post is. Now that that's done, we'll mock our gate up again. Fits. Start with mount. Yep, that's what it is. So these are obviously going to be separated. This one's going to be, the gate's going to be further this way, and the fence is going to be further that way, but that's because I'm going to put a post in right here. I'm gonna nail this panel to the gate post, and then this gate is gonna line up with the post. So I'll be able to put latch on this side or hinges on this side, and latch or hinges on that side, depending on what I decide to do. What I really think should happen is hinge, hinge, and hinge, and a latch in the middle right here. A scout. To do that, I have to dig in the post, I have to concrete it, level it, and then let it set. Lucky for me, I got the fast set concrete mix. This stuff doesn't have to be previously wet. You just float it, so you can just pour it in. But it takes 30 minutes to set. So we pour it in, I stamp it down, I stick my shovel down in there a couple of times to make sure it's fully hardened down in there, so there's no gaps, no air pockets. And then I go do something else for half an hour, which at this house I have plans to do. So I'll do that now. So it was like 5 or 10 minutes it took me to dig that hole, which is an ungodly amount of time to dig a hole. It shouldn't take that long. But I'm using this cute little thing that I picked up at Home Depot. The reason I bought this is because I have a post hole digger at home. I couldn't justify spending $40 to buy another one because I don't have mine on me, and I don't have mine on me because I really wasn't planning on doing this today. So I bought this one. I'm thinking about giving it to my daughter when I get home, because then she'll have her own shovel, and that would be cute. The holes right here, I haven't put the post in yet. I only wanted to go down 2 feet. I think I went a little bit more than that. For reference, this is a 4-foot level. That's the hole. So, pretty sure I went down like 2.5 feet maybe? I don't know. I'm going to set the post in it and see where it matches up to this fence. I would like a little bit of space under the post, so I'd like the post to be a little bit shorter so that I can pop the post, pour in a little bit of concrete, put the post back down, and fill in the concrete. I don't know if that's proper, but that's how I do it, and that's how I like to do it. If you want your post to last pretty much forever, you could always wipe some dinosaur putty all over it, which is also known as tar if you buy it at the store, before you put them in the ground. And that way, no water can get to it. That's perfect. So we're going to pour in a little bit of concrete, and then I think I'll just pour it in and start tamping this thing until it rises up to the level it's supposed to be at. Once it gets there, I'll pour in around it, and then we'll go ahead and level it all up all the way around and move on with our lives. These bags are the Fast Set Sakrete 50 pound. They are meant for putting in posts. You can use pretty much any kind of dang. I wouldn't use a patching compound, of course, but any kind of concrete would be fine. This one, of course, has little rocks in it, and that just makes it stronger, so you definitely want that if possible. Don't breathe the dust that comes out of this, because it's gross. And it'll probably cause cancer in California or something. I'm sure first effect. Whatever else oxygen causes in California. Now I'm going to pour in around it and then we're going to level it and move on to the next step. So before you pour in dirt, of course, throw a level on this thing. Make sure it's leveled all the way around. And you have to level it. that way. And that way. If these two sides are level, as long as we're straight, touch are straight on these things, then I can guarantee that every side's level. Checking size or sometimes before I cut. Alright, so once it's level, we're going to take our shovel and we're just going to knife down into it to compress the concrete. Get all the air pockets out and make sure that concrete is nice and hard all the way around. Alright, now we're going to check the level again because I just messed around. It doesn't hurt to wiggle the whole post a little bit. It's just giving me the ability to center it, get level. Another way you can level it if you don't like worrying about getting your post polished. You can see where I just put the shovel in there. And you can put the shovel in. And it's butt it up against the post on one side and try on the other. Nice plastic handle they give you. And that's all. Alright, so now that that's level, we're going to throw some more dirt in there on top. This will help give a little bit of moisture to the concrete and also stability to the post. Mostly it's about stability to the post. While this is drying, you don't want to really put a whole lot of pressure on the bottom. So you'll see that I pile up the dirt, but I'm not going to take my foot and stomp down on it right now just because I don't want to throw off the level. There we go. I know there's a lot of dirt left over. That's how this works. We just removed a bunch of dirt and put a 4x4 post in. The other thing you want to check, which I did earlier, is that straight. What I mean by straight is flat side. That's just going to be made up too. But I did that when I put it in. I just didn't think about it to tell you guys that. And since I'm messing with it, that's what we're going to check off again. Alright, it's good. So I'm going to leave it, let the concrete grab some moisture from the ground and harden up a little bit. If it's not hardened by the time I come back, it'll be 30 minutes to an hour. I'll throw a hose on there just to get it wet, and that way it can get fully saturated and hardened up the best that I can. So I made a mistake. You ever made a mistake? It seems to be one of my specialties. So I put that post in, which is great. That post is centered, everything's good, it's the right height, perfect. And then before I wandered off to do something else at this house, I decided I should probably put the gate up there to make sure it fits in between the two posts, because I remembered I didn't measure. So I put the gate up and it didn't fit. So then I took out a tape measure, smart. I've spent a while searching for it too, by the way, and it was sitting right next to me the whole time, I just didn't realize it. But I got my tape measure, I measured the gate. I told you the gate was 43 inches. It's not, it's a hair over 44, so 44 1/8. Which is awesome, but can't expect much more than that from Home Depot. So then I measured my posts, and well, they weren't 44 1/8. So then I, instead of tearing out the work I just got done doing, I tore out the other fence post. Figured not a bad time to check to see if there's any cement on this thing, and there was. I took it out anyways, but there was. To take it out, I used a ratchet strap and a piece of 2x6. If you want to see how that's done, I could show you, but it's a pretty simple winching system of pulling it straight up out of the ground. Now I also use my shovel a little bit too, because as I was winching it still didn't want to come, and usually they do come, and that's when I realized there's concrete on the bottom. Still, I got it out, no big deal. I dug out the hole a little bit bigger, I measured, marked, and I put the 4x4 back in with another bag of concrete. I left the concrete on the bottom, so it's got more concrete, and it's leveled. Its height matches up to the other posts on its side of the fence, so I don't know, we're just going for matching on either side of the gate, I guess. I still have to trim down the fence panel on that side to match up, nail the fence panel to it, but I'm going to wait on doing all that until the post is hardened into the ground. So now I have basically two new, at least newly mounted posts in the ground. And so I'm going to wait on those to dry while I go finish up some other stuff inside the house. But I figured I'd share with you guys because it's hilarious that, once again, I made a mistake. Alright guys, I got the posts up. You knew about the posts, you saw me do that. I'm putting the gate up now. I didn't show you the first hinge, mostly because I didn't feel like videoing that I'm going to drop my gate like 4 times. But the first hinge is on. I have a spacer at the bottom so that everything's straight-ish, but will swing properly. And the bottom is straight. It looks like my top post isn't the most straight thing in the world, or my right side post, or my left side post, or maybe the gate's not straight, which from my measurements, the gate's not straight. So who knows? But I'm going to put the rest of the hinges on. Then I'm going to put the latch on. I have to re-secure one of the boards that fell off of one of the panels on the original fence. And then this job will be done, but I'll let you guys watch it. Check that to make sure that the gate works. Once we know that the gate works, we'll put the gate latch on, and this one's done. Use this one pick it up, it's falling out, so I'll just use screws this time. So here's the gate. Looks good to me. Lines up pretty close. It's not perfectly level, but it's close. I can always pull a hinge in. Nope, it's dead straight here, so we'll say it's good. And then I'll put a latch on this side. We're good to go. If you've never seen one of these latches before, this part moves. Okay, this part, it doesn't move, but it sits on the gate, so it's the one that's going to be swinging. This part stays still. So figure the gate swings, you can't get out. You have this hole right here that you can put a lock through so that nobody can open it, right? So because of that, this part's gonna go on the gate. This part's gonna go on the post. Before we add the other 2 screws, of course, we'll test this to make sure everything works good. So, dragging this bottom from me, pull that. We do that before I continue, just in case it messes up the latch. Alright, well I guess we're pulling that one and pulling the other one. Just probably use my magnet for this one. Everything in my mouth, huh? I gotta be mindful here that not lose too much gapping, so put a spacer in there to hold it so it'll squeeze in, but not too much. So, obviously it squeezed in a little bit. This thing's pretty stout, you know. I'm gonna edge it out just a tiny touch. I wanna make sure it's not dragging over here, but I also wanna make sure it doesn't really pinch on this side. It's kind of the trick with doing it is to find the happy. So, take it out a little bit, move the spacer, and then let it go back in. Like that. What it looks like. Better spacing. Alright, so we're going to do this one first. I'm just going to do the center hole first. Go down to the bottom, put all those in, come back up and do the other side of this. Center hole can hold this in place. Caught its old hole a little bit, but I want to make sure it doesn't catch the old hole because it'll just screw everything up. this hinge on. We kind of want to angle these screws to the side so it doesn't catch its old spots, because otherwise you just do all that for nothing. Now I'm going to finish off this left side and then we'll open this up and go fix that panel. Real tight. So because of moving that, it moved the latch down some. So all I'm going to do is loosen these ones and bring that up a little bit. Well, let's bring the latch down a little bit. Be better if it wasn't full speed. Good. Let's do the screw. I bought a box with more screws, so good. See, it's pretty level. It's not staying. Same process. Use this and go out. A little higher this time. That's fine. I don't think anybody will miss that. I want it centered in the latch so that it's nice and closed. Probably more something I care about than anybody else does, but well, that's why I do this job, because I mark the hole with the screw. I can bring it out here to hold up my toe. Remember, I'm working alone here. It's different. I don't have somebody to hold this for me. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna secure the other panel in. Should be good from there.